As you're listening, don't forget to check out the Professional Amateurs podcast on YouTube. And while you're there, hit like and subscribe so that you never miss an episode. Hello everyone, welcome to episode 35 of Professional Amateurs. Man, we are ripping through these episodes lately. I'm back. I was on hiatus last week. School was a little crazy. I was in the office and then I had to meet with my supervisor and this and that. And so, yeah, it just didn't work out. Ryan and Jack were subpar, but it's all right. We're going to be good. We're going to do great this week. Just kidding. Just kidding. Don't get upset. How are you guys?
It's too late.
Already upset.
I don't even want to be here now.
Just logs off. What's up, Ryan?
It's going all right. School
Going
sucks.
all right?
School sucks. Sen suck. So
Everything sucks.
this is my therapy session for the week.
Yeah, November's tough. November's
Yeah.
tough. And early December, just school related. November and early December is just a grind.
How are you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm doing yeah, no, life sucks as well. Like school's terrible.
I'm
doing great, but everything sucks.
Yeah.
I already want to give my season's tickets back. It's been like 8 games. But it sucks. Like Monday they lose. I'm pissed. Like they lose to freaking the Islanders. So I'm upset. And I'm like ready to give up my tickets. I'm like, they're 5-9-1. I have so many games left to go to. And then now they play tonight and I'm all pumped to go. It's like, it's toxic. It's toxic.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Fandom is a toxic relationship.
It is a toxic relationship. It's like the ex that just won't go away. Like I want my Ottawa Senators fandom to be an ex.
Yeah.
Like, I want to just cheer for a different team. Like I'd rather let's just go cheer for Vegas. Like that'd be easy.
Yeah. I'm in.
Or I don't know. Yeah, that was the first team. Like I was like looking at like Vegas or Edmonton. Vegas is looking a little better.
Yeah.
So yeah. So big stuff going on over the past week. The Hall of Fame class was inducted. I guess formally they had their big ceremony. Which for some reason overlapped with the Sens game that started at 5:30. Hilarious scheduling. Applause to the NHL for that. Great work. Excellent work, NHL.
Yeah,
You freaking garbage league.
They scheduled an earlier game so it could lead into a watch party, but they missed his speech by like 15-20 minutes. So they just
I think it was more than that.
Yeah, so they just replayed it.
I saw tweets, people talking about like, wait, so what happened to this whole like coordination thing? Like at the start of the third period, like that's half an hour.
It was brutal.
It was a joke. And then like they just showed a recording of his speech on the Jumbotron after the game. And I was just like, what? Like what? Like why wouldn't, okay.
Watch that at home.
Here's my thing. I care to learn, like not learn. I like seeing who gets into the Hall of Fame. I think it's important. But the leagues just don't treat it the way that I want it to be treated, you know? Like, if you're going to have a Hall of Fame induction ceremony, make it the only thing going on with the NHL at that specific time. Like if you're going to do it on a Monday night, do it from like 6 to 7, or don't have any games on and just do your Hall of Fame night. Like, that's my biggest thing with baseball. Baseball is this grand exclusive Hall of Fame group, but they throw it on a Sunday night at the same time as Sunday Night Baseball. It's like, cancel, like don't have a Sunday night game and do your Hall of Fame thing so everyone can watch if you want it to feel important.
Why can't they do it on a Sunday where they have like 2 games anyways? And
they do that all the time anyway. Or do it on a Wednesday when you have 2 games on and they're both like West Coast games. Like, I don't know. It's annoying and it's hard to care about these ceremonies and stuff when the NHL doesn't seem to try to accommodate its fans so that they can actually watch. But yeah, that's my beef there. So, Ryan, I'll let you take it away because I know you're an Alfie heart or no. I don't know.
Before we go to that, while we're shitting on what the Hall of Fame does, they need to release the numbers like baseball does.
Yeah.
I want to know if someone was 1 vote short of getting it.
Oh, yeah, that's interesting.
Or just let alone like know who's being considered. Like it's or who gets any votes. Like we know nothing.
Is it a vote though? Like, is that how it works? Because I've never even like looked into how the NHL does it.
So how it works is I think there's 18 individuals who Yeah, I don't even know how they get chosen, but they do.
Okay.
And essentially one person will bring up your name or like make a case on your behalf, and you need 75% of the voters' rights to get in.
Okay. So that's the same as baseball. But
Yeah.
baseball, there's like,
Baseball has like 100 voters or something crazy.
oh, I think even more than that. Like, there's a lot to the point
Yeah.
where like one vote, well, obviously one vote can make a difference, but one vote doesn't count for 5%.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's wild. That's 18%.
Yeah.
Or 18 people or something like that.
Mhm.
And they're probably all 90 years old.
Yeah.
Which is even funnier. But
They
Anyway,
probably vote off like, oh, I don't like that team. He's not getting it.
he didn't
Mhm.
win a cup. He didn't win a cup. He didn't have enough penalty minutes.
He didn't win the hardest trophy to win all by himself, even though it's a team trophy. Screw that guy.
Anyway, Ryan, I'll throw it over to you. Give me a minute on Alfie.
yeah. I won't go too long on this, but I just thought it was a really cool night and everything surrounding it. Like for Alfie, obviously.
Mitchell, are you crying already?
Yeah, I know. I'm really upset. No, I just had something in my eye.
Like for Alfie specifically, but even just for Ottawa as a franchise, like it's so huge. It's their first it's their first modern player in the Hall of Fame. Like you can argue Hossa, but he had his best years far away from Ottawa. And it was just really cool to see like everybody come to the event as well. Like Phillips, Neil, Redden, all those guys were there and supporting him, just throwing it back. And I just thought it was really nostalgic to be a Sens fan on that night. Like, and it took away from the loss, which was pretty cool. And like one thing he touched on in his speech too was his relationship with Erik Karlsson. And I thought like he just gave it a little piece, but we also on that same day got a piece in the Players Tribune from Erik Karlsson, kind of giving lots of detail to their tight bond and how he was, or how Karlsson, no, Alfredsson was the best man at his wedding. So
Yeah, I didn't know that.
yeah, I didn't know that either. So it gave a lot of cool context to how close they are, kind of like a father-son relationship in Karlsson coming into the league. Like I knew they were close. And I knew even Daniel Alfredsson had a hand in drafting him, but like it just was really emotional to kind of bring those memories back.
I actually didn't realize that the draft was in Ottawa when they drafted EK.
Yeah.
That was a cool thing. So I'm gonna go back, and I meant to actually do this the other day when I read it, but I want to YouTube the clip of when they draft him just to see it, just because it's cool. But are you drinking water out of an apple juice container?
I am.
That's sick. I love it. I love that stuff. Okay, Jack, what are your thoughts on?
Why did I get us fucking mugs if you're gonna use an apple juice container?
Because the mug is for coffee.
Apple juice
Yeah.
containers are for apple juice.
It's
debatable. Debatable. As soon as you take that label off, it's a water bottle. So
yeah.
He didn't take the label off. It was
what
on
brand?
it.
What brand of apple juice is it?
Graves.
I've never heard of that. But
That's
if they
fake.
sponsor the
It
pod,
was-
I would drink it
Okay.
forever.
It was $3 for 3 of these. They were on sale.
Okay, that's solid.
Yeah.
That's solid. I can get behind that. Okay, before we move on, apple juice or orange juice? Quick round table. Jack?
I like both, but I'll pick orange juice.
Okay, Ryan?
In like all situations, I'm going apple juice, but like there are certain situations where orange juice is just the goat.
Like orange juice strictly with
Like
breakfast.
right after you brush your teeth.
Yeah, that's a good one too,
Yeah.
Jack.
Yeah.
Instead of water to brush your teeth with
Yeah.
or orange juice.
I
Okay,
actually
let's move.
thought-
I like the direction this episode's going. Let's not even be a hockey pod anymore.
Let's just
Okay.
do let's just do juice analysis every week.
Okay, Erik Karlsson.
Erik Karlsson. Yeah, so he did his Players Tribune. It was super cool. And that guy has what, like 20 points already this season? Lighten it up. Front runner for the Norris. Can you imagine?
He's gonna win the Rocket.
He wins the Rocket in his age 32 season. And an article came out, I think yesterday, talking about how, what's his name? The San Jose Will Greer. Is that his name?
Yeah.
Mike Greer. Is fielding trade calls for
You're
Erik
so
Karlsson.
confident to agree with him.
I heard Greer, and that was it. I
Yeah.
didn't hear the first name.
I should have just went with the last name. But San Jose's taking trade calls on Erik Karlsson. And I don't know if we've talked about this yet. Like I know we've talked EK and like everyone's been talking about Erik Karlsson's resurgence, but I don't know if we've actually like looked at how feasible a trade would be. Like the guy, he's like top 5 in league in salary, he makes 11 and a half, and he's still got 4 years left after this one. And he's just got such a touchy injury history. Like
and a full move clause.
And a full no move. So he gets to pick where he goes. And I don't know. Like, I think this is a huge overreaction to this 15 game sample. Like, if I'm a GM, I'm not touching that contract. I don't care what my situation is. I don't know how you guys feel about it. I'd be interested to hear if you guys are sort of on a different point of view with regards to a potential Erik Karlsson trade. But yeah, what do you guys think? Jack, I'll let you start.
If it was either his cap hit for a like shorter term or his term at a reasonable cap hit, I'd go for it. I'd take that risk. But the combination of both is just not feasible in my mind. Even at 50% retained, like that's going to be an absurd trade.
If you were San Jose, would you be willing to retain 50% to maximize trade value? Like you've got a six.
It depends on we're talking for maximized value. Like if they're getting a good haul, go for it. But that's a lot of dead cap.
It's 575. Like that's pretty significant.
But
they're also going to suck for the next 4 years.
Yeah.
So
they're not getting the package that they gave up for. Like it's going to be
no, but that ship has sailed.
Yeah,
exactly. So it's not going to be like a big package. It's going to be like what, a 2nd round pick and a B prospect,
and maybe some offsetting salary.
Yeah, like Zaitsev.
See, I actually think it's pretty feasible if it weren't for the term, obviously, and that's where a lot of teams are going to balk at this. But when you think of it, like I think, I don't know if they would be willing to, but I think they should be willing to eat half of it because this guy is just going into his late 30s. He's making this money anyways. You're never going to be able to move him again or get this money off the books. If there's any chance to get him out while you're spiraling into a rebuild, I think they should absolutely just take it. Like if it's not a good return, who cares? You're not looking to be good. So I think it's feasible, especially with, I think they should be taking 50%, and then one, you can look at another team to take 50% of that to get them down to 25. We've seen that before. And then you can also excuse me, you can potentially, I forgot where I was going with this second point.
If he had less years left, like we're looking at half, like he's not halfway through his 8-year contract left yet.
Yeah.
Like if you're looking at 2 years left, I could see like a third team getting involved and a team being willing to eat half. But
a third team to pay even 25% of that contract for 5 years.
That's almost $3 million.
Yeah.
Like what team is going to commit to being just a holding cap for that long?
Yeah. So that one probably doesn't work. But I think with the way cap, people kind of forget that cap room builds as you get closer to the, like it, I don't really know how it works either, but as the season progresses, if you have cap room, it like accumulates.
It accumulates,
right? So that will have people having a lot more money than people might think at the deadline. But yeah, that you guys explaining the third team thing there, that makes sense too. That probably won't work.
Because San Jose basically has to weigh whether or not they want to get, I don't know, like a second rounder and a shitty forward to offset cap in exchange for like having $6 million of debt. Basically, it's do you want the asset and $6 million of dead cap, or do you want an $11.5 million Erik Karlsson when he's 35 years old and probably insignificant decline like he was the 2 years prior to this one?
I think if they're getting any sort of positive asset back, do it. Like if it's a 6th round pick, I don't care. That should be the way they're looking at it. But
we should have come to the table with a couple of ideas because I'm kind of drawing a blank. I know that I saw, or what was I reading? I was reading an article talking about how Edmonton needs to beef up their blue line. I forget what the article was, but it was basically saying like it was almost an outrageous take, and it's gonna sound silly at first, but it was basically saying Edmonton should like go after a Seth Jones type of player, because even though Seth Jones is way overpaid and might not be the best example, he's still a solid top 4 defenseman, I would argue. And Edmonton needs to like make their roster better regardless of like cap hit or future outlook, because they have McDavid and Draisaitl for 3 and 4 more years, and they got to just win. And Seth Jones would help you win. So it was something along the lines of like Tyson Barrie and like some other salary to bring in Seth Jones. So even though Seth Jones, like 7 years from now, is still going to be making 9.5, in these next 3 or 4 years, he's going to help you a lot more than Tyson Barrie. And so with all that being said, in terms of the Seth Jones thing, I think you can kind of loop Erik Karlsson into that sort of idea as well. Whereas like Erik Karlsson's going to help you try to win a Stanley Cup this year if you're in Edmonton.
Yeah.
And if you can send out like Tyson Barrie, some other guy, and a pick to get 50% Erik Karlsson, like you do that. You gotta, I think. So I think there's going to be interest. It's going to be interesting to see if anything can get done. GMs are so stingy with, I don't know, like I would imagine this would be one of the more complex trades we've seen in a long time, given the pure size of the cap hit, and how we also have to remember that the cap's going to go up too. So that's another thing to consider as soon as this year potentially. So there's just so many different factors, and it's such a complex trade for such a complex player. Like, when's the last time we saw a resurgence like this? Like I had Erik Karlsson written off. Like I thought he was done, and he was just basically going to ride out that contract, making bank, and playing a bunch of power play minutes with Brent Burns gone. And now he's putting up a point a game, and like looks like a great player again. It's just that his contract is still just so bad. Like that was never going to be a good contract when it was signed.
No.
In retrospect, it's actually kind of wild that he got that, but yeah, that's kind of my thoughts on the situation. I don't know what you guys think in terms of like a team should just throw everything all in on the next 2 or 3 years and go after Erik Karlsson.
Yeah, that was going to be my last point. Is I wonder about a team maybe that sees their window closing in the next, like you said, 2-3 years, and tries to make a trade like that, expecting to have to maybe buy him out in a year or 2, or
that's the other thing.
Year, but maybe 2 or 3. Like, does anyone know how that works too? If you buy out like a contract that you only have on 50%, does that? I don't know how that works.
I would imagine. Ooh, yeah, that's interesting. Like, how would that affect the previous team?
The other
like,
team, like, does the other team have to agree to buy out too?
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's an interesting. I haven't thought of that.
Or does maybe everything shift to you because you're the one who made the decision, or something like that? That'd be interesting. Damn, we need to get like an Elliot Friedman on here to talk about that. That's actually a sick question, Ryan.
Elliot, come on the pod.
I like the idea of Edmonton just saying like, screw it, we need to try something crazy. I can't think of another team that's in that situation, but
like
I would load up.
Doesn't
like
Boston have cap space?
No.
I don't know.
They had to put someone on IR just to bring back McAvoy.
Now, who am I thinking of then? I gotta find it.
I think too, like I would thinking about it more from that Edmonton perspective, like if you're ditching Barrie, you're getting a better version. Like Barrie is what? Power play time, and other than that, a nuisance to have on the ice.
Yep.
You're getting a better version of that. I would load up, like it would be a weird, complicated trade. Like I would do like a 6th round pick every year of his contract that upgrades each year based off games played.
So basically like a bunch of conditional draft picks.
Like a ridiculous amount of conditions.
Yeah. Like points, play time, like playoff rounds, all that.
Do like games played, playoff rounds, points. If he hits 2 out of 3, the pick upgrades in tiers from like 7 to 6 to 5 to 4 to 3.
GMs aren't smart enough to do something like that.
No, an NHL GM especially would never ever do that. But I would take that risk. I think that's worth it.
Minnesota currently has 11 million of projected deadline space.
Imagine they end up with another buyout.
Like, as soon as Suter and Parise come off, they buy out Ike and have another 6 years of like 10 million of dead cap just from him. I think. What about Seattle? That would be an interesting one.
Yeah.
They might not want to do that because they're doing the slow build thing and they've got a good thing cooking right now. But
Imagine this if they stay good. The New York Islanders currently have 13 million in deadline space. EK, come on down. Old with bad contract.
yikes. Right up
Throw it
Lou's
in the
alley.
pile. They won't even know. It's only $12 million. They won't notice.
Lou would love it. Okay, let's move on. Speaking of Lou Lamoriello being an old general manager, I want to talk about the Canucks for a minute. And I've got some beef with Vancouver Canucks right now. Jim Rutherford's the GM, right? Or is he the president?
He's
or
the
whatever?
president.
Okay. This guy, okay. JT Miller doesn't give a shit. Like, have you seen that guy play hockey in his own end?
Yeah.
Like, what'd they give him? 7 years, 8 per year? Like 7 times 8? So they gave that to him. And now Bo Horvat is about to score 50-some goals at just because that's what happens in the NHL now. Guys just pop off. And so Bo Horvat is going to get walked to free agency or have to be dealt because this team gave JT Miller the money that they should have given Bo Horvat. Oh, wait. They're going to have a whole bunch of cap space. No, they don't, because they traded all of their upcoming expiring contracts to the Arizona Coyotes for Oliver Ekman-Larsson and their first-round pick that year that turned into Dylan Guenther for Connor Garland, who also sucks. So now you're looking at a core of Quinn Hughes, who just has nobody around him, Elias Pettersson, who is one of the biggest wastes of potential in the NHL in the last few years. Like, that guy was supposed to be one of the faces of the league and just can't get anything going. You've got a 30-year-old JT Miller signed until he's 38, making $8 million a year. You've got Bo Horvat about to go to free agency and get $9 million a year, which you can't afford because you just paid for JT Miller, who, by the way, you should have traded last year at the deadline because you would have gotten so much from the Rangers for him. You've got Thatcher Demko, who's a pumpkin this year, making $5 million for the next 2 years that you won't be able to capitalize on because your team stinks. And you're bottom 5 in the league after all of this crap. And my thing is that Jim Rutherford does not know what to do when he has cap space. He gets cap space or sees cap space coming up and just gets rid of it. Like, who are the guys that he traded to Arizona for Ekman-Larsson? It was like Roussel, Beagle, just such bad players, that were
Those
going
were
to
Jim
be
Benning mistakes, though.
Yeah, but then didn't Rutherford make that trade?
Yeah, I think so. I'm just saying, those contracts got there in the first place.
No, I know, but they were going to expire at the end of last year. Those contracts were gone last summer. Those guys are not in the NHL right now. Those are all free agents. But Oliver Ekman-Larsson is currently making 7.25 on your blue line, just eating up a hole in your team. So you've got now him and JT Miller signed long term, making way too much money, and you suck. And now Bo Horvat, there's not enough room to keep Bo Horvat. My God, that is a hard name to say in a rant. And it just pisses me off that this guy is a GM. He ran Pittsburgh into the ground after they won their 2 cups. That guy just wouldn't stop making trades. He had Patrick Hornquist coming up as a free agent, I think a year or 2 out from free agency, making 5.3, I think it was. And he just flipped him to Florida for Mike Matheson, who was a 6-year contract making $5 million a year. And it's what was that trade? You could have. It's almost like he doesn't understand that cap space is an asset. And he just keeps using it. And as soon as there's available cap space coming up or available to him, he just throws it away for a player that just doesn't work with the team. And so now Vancouver had this promising young core a few years ago of Quinn Hughes, Elias Pettersson, Thatcher Demko, etc. That's just completely nothing right now. And now they're in the Bedard sweepstakes with these boat anchor contracts, JT Miller, Oliver Ekman-Larsson, Tyler Myers, which isn't his fault, but whatever. All these guys still just on the team. And it just feels like a complete joke of a franchise right now.
You haven't even brought up the fact that he's stringing the coach along too.
Yeah, and they're just fucking around with Bruce Boudreau. throwing him under the bus nonstop. Did you see that interview he gave on the Vancouver radio or whatever, or hear it?
Like, he's obviously going to get fired. It's just a matter of when. Like, why don't you just do it? I don't know.
Like, they're just so bad. They're such a mess. They beat Ottawa the other day, of course, but like, it's just so bad. Like, Brock Besser has 0 goals this season. Like, remember how sick that guy was?
Remember when
in his
he was
first couple
sick
years?
before he broke his back?
Like, Ilya Mikheyev, you went and threw $18 million a year at Ilya Mikheyev, not per year, total over 4 years, like 4.7 a year at Ilya Mikheyev. Like, that is a third liner. Like, I'm sorry.
Didn't they scratch the Russian they brought over, Kuzmenko or whatever?
Kuzmenko.
Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
He's like top 5 in goals and points in the team, and they're scratching him.
I'm looking at it right now. He's got 7 goals and 11 points in 16 games, and he was scratched in the last game. It's such a joke. It is such a joke. Like, Vasily Podkolzin, he was like their stud prospect. He's doing fuck all. Niels Hoglander, fuck all. Like, all of these guys that were supposed to be awesome are either just not getting playing time or just have completely busted. And it's like, because they keep on going and getting these veterans because they think they're good and they're not. It's crazy. Like, can you imagine how different this team would be and how much better off they'd be if they'd have not done the Oliver Ekman-Larsson trade, which is a disaster. Like, imagine having Dylan Guenther in this organization right now. Like, instead of Connor Garland.
Would have busted. It's fine.
Yeah, but still, Connor Garland sucks. So like, it wouldn't even matter. At least one would be younger and not making $5 million for another 6 years. I'm pretty sure Connor Garland signed an extension last summer.
Mhm.
And like, you'd have a bunch of free money from all those terrible contracts that they ended up trading for OEL, and now you've got OEL for all these years. And think about the assets you could have gotten for JT Miller. Like, it's just, it goes on and on and on, and it's just insane.
And they have like no room for flexibility too, because I'm pretty sure next year they already have 17 players committed for like $71 million. It's crazy.
And again, like, this isn't a Rutherford thing. This goes back to Jim Benning. But I read not a stat, but like, I was reading a thing from Thomas Drance, like, he's the main Canucks reporter or whatever, and he was talking about how from like 2015-ish, like, I'm pretty sure since they drafted Besser up until like 2020, so like 6 consecutive drafts, they drafted 5 out of 6 drafts, they drafted top 10, but each of those drafts, they had less than 7 draft picks in the draft. Think about that for like a second. That means they were trading away draft picks while finishing bottom 10 in the NHL.
Mm-hmm.
Like what? What? So we're going back to even previous GMs. It's just such a mess. It's such a mess. They had so much promise like 4 years ago.
Yeah, like
you mentioned how like Rutherford doesn't get shit on the same way Lou does, and it's because Jim Benning was there before. Yeah. This is still an improvement.
Benning was
all this garbage you're talking about is better than what they had. Yeah. It's not Louis Eriksson 6x6.
Yeah, like, Benning was a disaster.
But why are you bringing in a dinosaur to take over?
Like, that's hockey, baby.
That's the NHL.
Crazy.
It's just what they do.
Crazy, dude. It blows my mind how poorly an NHL team can be run. It blows my mind. It makes me so angry.
We would have a cup contender. If we
submit my Chell resume, I'll get the job.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's okay when Quinn Hughes muscles his way to New Jersey. They'll get some assets back and start this thing all over.
Yeah.
They literally could do that, though. Like, if Jersey wanted to, they could. Okay. New topic. This is off the top of my head. If you had to pick,
transition nicely to Jersey here.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. Okay. If you guys wanted to, 10-game heater, by the way, at Jack Hughes. I
fucking love. He talks like a house kid.
Oh my god, it's amazing.
I love
it. It's amazing.
It's so
what do you guys think you could do to have a little bit more consistency for 60 minutes a night? And he's like, we're on a 9-game heater right now, so I think we're fine. What a stupid question. There's similar to GMs. Like, how are some reporters have their job? I don't know. Whatever, dude. If you had to pick one team's on ice situation, or honestly just as a franchise, like, is New Jersey at the top of the list right now? In terms of like youth, draft picks, talent on the ice, like cup contention window being wide open.
Mhm.
Like it's New Jersey, isn't it?
Yeah, it's pretty damn close. If
Like I'm
not.
trying to think who else is like Carolina's pretty sick. I don't know. Jack, do you have a thought?
I mean, because it's the NHL, teams like Colorado and Tampa Bay would be put in there because they've already closed the deal.
Yeah.
But ignoring like recent success, like if you're not counting the fact that New Jersey hasn't put it together in a playoff yet, I don't think a team beats them in this topic.
Today moving forward, like ignoring priors.
Yeah.
Like today moving forward, like New
Well, you got
Jersey's
to
the
include that
team.
9-game heater, or Jack Hughes will be pissed off. So we'll go back 9 games looking
Okay.
forward.
Right. Okay. Like they're
I don't know,
13
man.
and 3.
And like the vibes, like Jack Hughes tossing his stick over last year, like they're vibing. I said it
sick.
before on the pod. I think Luke Hughes is going to be the best brother out of them. Like he's going to be an absolute stud.
Oh my
Yeah,
god,
their
that's crazy.
defense is so incredible, and they still have Nemec and Luz. And
Like I cannot believe that. That's unbelievable to me that they have arguably the 2 best defenseman prospects associated with the NHL right now in their pipeline. And they're 13 and 3 and have Dougie Hamilton and John Marino and this and that. And it's like, what?
And like I've seen Athletic do like redrafts already putting Luke Hughes at 1, even though he's still in college.
I know, I saw that too. That was wild.
Mhm.
He's gonna be a monster.
Yeah.
Like Nico Heishier's finally putting it together with a healthy season. Like,
and
knock
he's
on
able
wood.
to be kind of like the silent second line center. Like, he doesn't need to be a number 1 pick anymore. Now he's just a guy.
Yeah.
And he's able to actually play.
He's more than just a guy though. He's so
No,
good.
but like before everyone else came, he was the first overall pick. He had to save the team, which he's not. But now he's able to be what he is and not have the focus on him.
Right. Okay, that's he's the Malkin.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good call for it.
Oh, they're just so good. I wish they'd have traded for DeBrincat over the summer. Like, as a neutral fan, like that's the move they should have made. Like, obviously they didn't really need to have made any moves. Like they're 13 and 3, but that was the guy like that would have been so sick.
I mean, they prioritize defense. It's the right call.
Yeah. That's the thing, is they have like a stranglehold on the market of defense prospects. Whatever next forward to come up that they want, they can just it's theirs if they want.
It seems like a lot of teams make this mistake that we've seen Toronto do, and now we've seen Ottawa do. It's like they go through this whole rebuild, and then they get distracted by the shiny offensive toy, and just forget about defense for a little bit. So, New Jersey's done it right.
I'd also like to redact my previous take on having the Devils go after John Gibson. He has an 8.92 right now with the
I'm
Fire Anaheim Ducks.
I'm well aware. I kept this guy as a keeper.
Oh right, yeah, that's right.
And he is
solid choice.
Yeah, it's a tough scene. It's a tough scene in Anaheim right now. It was kind of expected to be that way though.
Imagine Zegras flipping it over the net to Bedard though. That'll be cool.
Oh my god. Should we do another Bedard watch, or did you guys did one last week, kind of, didn't you?
Yeah, but like, I want him with Zegras. Let's make it happen.
Yeah, frig. Columbus would be cool too. Okay. Oh, I didn't do a Pro-Am Player of the Week. Do you guys have one ready?
I
totally forgot.
I had one, but I think I was gonna go Jack Hughes if we didn't bring it up.
Shit.
But
okay.
I'll say Matt Murray because he got his first win with the Leafs last night.
Did he? I didn't even see that he played.
Did he get pulled like for an injury, or did he make it through?
He did not. Let's enjoy.
They need a closer.
Let's.
They have a bullpen for their goalies.
Let's just enjoy his 1 week of health before it ends.
His 1 week of health and his 1 week of the season where he has like a 920 save percentage.
Yeah. And then he'll be done for the season, and Leafs fans will be like, "Oh, just wait till next year."
Jack, do you have a Pro-Am Player of the Week?
I did not prepare for one. I forgot we even introduced that as a thing, if I'm being honest. Mine was so good the first time, I'm just going to ride high on giving it to Zach Kassian.
Right.
Still holding in.
Just Our first repeat champion. I'm gonna go with
or the same thing that happened 3 weeks ago.
I'm
Yeah, he
gonna go
didn't do
with
anything else. It's just still funny.
yeah. I just got bodied by Wi-Fi.
I think about it every once in a while. It puts me to sleep. My last thought before I wake up and go to sleep.
His white noise at night is just the video of the fight on repeat. I think I'm gonna go with Jack Eichel scoring a hat trick against Buffalo. That was freaking kick ass. Oh my god, dude, Vegas. Oh, we were so wrong on so many teams. Like we all had Vegas and Boston as like periphery teams.
Logan Thompson is coming for Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, he is. He sure is.
And he'll go out on top like Steve Mason, I think the last goalie to win it. So
Yeah, but before last night, he'd won 6 in a row. Like personally.
That is correct.
that dead air. Oh my god. That was
It's
horrible.
been an electric end to the pod.
It's been a tough one. It's been tough. I didn't have much prepared beyond the Vancouver thing. I thought we would be talking about it for more, but it was more just a personal rant about how frustrating it is to watch that organization be run. But yeah, I mean, do you guys have anything else, or are we wrapping up 3 minutes early here?
I'm double checking the list, but I think that's about it.
Jack, anything?
Oh,
I
we can
never
talk-
prepare. I just give opinions off what you guys say.
We can
Shows
do
up.
1 minute on how like Jason Robertson is sick.
Oh my god, dude. This guy, oh my god. Holy shit. When Dallas was in Ottawa and I was at that game, I couldn't keep my eyes off of him.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's so good. It's actually insane. And he's not like he's already underpaid. Like, I can't believe he signed a 4-year deal. He's gonna get so much money. Oh my god.
He's currently tied for 3rd in points, and he's got 11 goals and 14 assists in 16 games.
Oh.
Like it's absurd.
He's only playing 16 minutes a night too. 16:52. Wow.
17, but
Yeah, I rounded down.
yeah.
That was a bold choice.
From 52.
No, I just looked at the 16. I said 16. Yeah, okay. Don't worry
Stop
about
reading halfway through.
it. The number's too big. Yeah, no, like he's insane. Like he's a top 5 winger in the NHL probably.
And he
Yeah.
he
Dallas-
sucks that he's in
Dallas too.
Dallas. He doesn't get the love he deserves.
Yeah, 100%. Like how this all spawned is I was listening to, I forget what podcast it was, but like somebody asked Jason Robertson in like a media scrum if he thinks he has what it takes to be one of the top elite like wingers in the league one day.
Oh god.
I'm
And what
like,
did he say?
What if he was like, I'm on a 9-game heater, I already am.
Yeah.
Well, what would he say? Like, did he say
I-
something arrogant? Like
I didn't
something-
see the whole clip, but it was just
Oh.
like somebody mocking that reporter. I'll have to go and find it now.
It'd be kind of hilarious if his answer was just like, "What? I already am, buddy." Like, just sort of
Yeah.
one of those. Like,
Or he,
I
like,
want to
a-
like fake a media ID card and go up to McDavid and be like, "Do you think you have what it takes to be a top player in this league?"
see what he says.
Yeah.
You'd be so flustered. Oh my god.
He would
I also on the topic of just like shouting out Robertson because he's been playing well. Tage Thompson. Oh my god, that contract already looks sick. Like everyone was doubting it, not doubting it, but everyone was sort of unsure because of the 1-year thing. Man, ever since that guy became a center, he's become top tier. And all of a sudden, that Ryan O'Reilly trade looks like a win-win.
There we go. Those are our players of the week.
Yeah, Tage Thompson, Jason Robertson,
And Matt.
Jack Eichel, Matt Murray, and Zach Cassian. All
Just
right.
throw in that last one.
That'll do it for episode 35. We will catch you next week for episode 36.
Hit the outro.